The new Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer dropped just yesterday, and the mainstream gaming news media's primary contention with it appears to be that it's not political enough. Huh. Well, that's a weird complaint to have, that the trailer doesn't take a shot at Donald Trump, figuratively or otherwise, and yet it is also a quintessentially current year consideration, is it not? And there are several articles complaining about this, which I just find fascinating. As honestly, it never even occurred to me that we might see the Trumpaluffagus in a Grand Theft Auto trailer. He would seem somewhat out of place, honestly. What, would he be the evil billionaire, the fascist president of America, against whom our career criminal heroes would fight? Oh yes, our heroes! Grand Theft Auto main characters. Absolutely the kind of guys you want to be leading La Resistance, and no doubt about it, but I figured we'd have a look at this, starting with PC Gamer, saying former Rockstar boss said in 2018 that he was glad not to be releasing GTA 6 in the Trump era. It's going to require quite a few pushbacks to achieve that now, of course. And they say, it is interesting that intentionally or otherwise, Rockstar may have figured out a way around that difficulty, the difficulty of releasing Grand Theft Auto in the Trump presidency, ignoring it entirely. Neither of the GTA 6 trailers we've seen so far, including the one that dropped today, have made any visible reference to Trump, much less any sort of direct parody or to other relevant political hotpoints. Okay then. And you know what? I do actually agree on one point the PC Gamer article makes here, that Grand Theft Auto 6 appears to be playing it safe. Rockstar as playing it safe with the GTA 6. I do feel that, I really do. It comes across as a far more, I don't know, less edgy, less provocative, more smooth and unflustered entry into the Grand Theft Auto series. A franchise, of course, that began with the very deliberately provocative 1 and 2, games that for the time were rather unique in their ability to run around gunning down innocent civilians as a core game mechanic. They were very provocative, very edgy games, and that has kind of, waned out over the years to the point where Grand Theft Auto 6 now, it really does feel quite plasticky, doesn't it? Like the mainstream version of Grand Theft Auto. And by the way, am I the only one who's just not that excited for another, in essence, 2 minutes of CGI without so much as the slightest shadow of gameplay? A trailer that tells us basically nothing about the game, other than they did put a fair bit of resources into making the female main character's ass jiggle, which, don't get me wrong, I appreciate, but still. I am the only one, aren't I? I mean, look at it. 40 million views, basically, in less than a day. Yeah, I suppose this is just Arch being a grumpaluffagus again, but moving on, we then have The Gamer. GTA 6 new trailer shows GTA can still be a political satire, because nothing ever changes. So whilst PC Gamer is like, God damn it, this just isn't political enough, The Gamer goes one step beyond. It goes, no. If it isn't political, we will make it political. Look, there's a part in the trailer where a cop pushes a black guy. Racism! Okay, we're starting with a good stretch in the morning. Wonderful. Fantastic. As that is what this article basically does. It has a long, pointless preamble, but its main thrust is that everything is still political. We declared that everything was political back in 2014, and since everything is still political, we can look at the trailer and go, well, you see, there's a guy with a gun there who's acting in a stereotypical, problematic American way. This is clearly Rockstar condemning American rednecks, yes. We can also tell that the main character, the guy, is obviously an asshole, because he does extortion business. Never mind his girlfriend being in jail and the two of them joining up to become Bonnie and Clyde immediately thereafter. Details. This then is the stretch tactic, where you try to find something to at least, okay, I mean, that's sort of political. See, it's political in our advantage. This, by the way, is our good old-fashioned point of claiming and gatekeeping, as the left is already moving into what should be fairly hostile territory and going, see, this 0.3 second clip in the trailer proves that Rockstar is a progressive company. And they might be, as another article from Polygon here takes one step further and declares that not only are small parts of it political, the game is stridently political. The GTA 6 trailer makes Rockstar's change politics very clear. Lucia is a true hero of a very different kind. This is the woman who is shown in the trailer throwing guns in people's faces multiple times and engaging in robberies and homicides and stuff, but she's a hero. Why? You know why. She's female, and she's the correct shade. That's all Polygon really needs. But I want to read this one, because this one is rather amusing to me. Back in 2022, Bloomberg reported that Rockstar Games cleaned up its frat boy culture and Grand Theft Auto 2. The changes took shape in different ways, from less crunch to a narrowing of the gender pay gap for works of the studio, and to the introduction of the game's first playable female character. Told ya. A Latino named Lucia. And now it seems, as now its second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, we're seeing that the game's marketing has changed a bit from previous entries too. Aha. Okie dokie then. Now, this incidentally is a genuine thing that I'm a bit worried about. We can already see that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be a far more mainstreamified entry into the Grand Theft Auto series, and with statements coming from within Rockstar that they have adopted a more equal political approach, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of that in the game itself, but there hasn't really been any indicator of it so far, and hey, ideally speaking, I would like it if PC Gamer is correct, and Rockstar's solution is simply to ignore politics entirely. Again, Polygon its likes will do everything in its power to still make it political, but such is the way of things. To illustrate the difference, let's go back in time to the marketing of smash hit GTA 5. Actually, this is a long, dumb, pointless preamble, isn't it? The first GTA 6 trailer puts Lucia in front and center first thing, giving her a quick character-building conversation with somebody who appears to be a prison social worker. It's pretty easy to contrast this with the opening of the second GTA 5 trailer, which features two unnamed women screaming at each other in the background right before Michael's voiceover begins. This focus makes sense that given Lucia is one of our two lead characters. In addition to being our first playable female protagonist in GTA, she's also depicted in the trailer as sympathetic. Partway through, Lucia tells the social worker that bad luck must have been what got her in prison, and she doesn't seem like she's cracking a joke there. Yes, because bad luck is what lands most people in correctional facilities. The second GTA 6 trailer has even more character building for Jason and Lucia. Jason seems like the less likable of the pair, given that he has a moment of punching a black cashier before opening the register. Of course. And Rockstar intended it that way, of course. This appears to be part of the duties he performs for a landlord friend who lets Jason live rent-free in exchange for this type of rent collection. But through a series of small intimate moments, from the Jason picking Lucia up for the prison stint to the pair of them palling around the apartment together, cuddling after Lucia gets home from her community service hours, still wearing an orange vest, you can't help but kind of root for these two. I don't know if I'll go quite that far just yet, but another striking part of the latest GTA 6 trailer is its depiction of police violence. Oh, there you are. By contrast, here's how GTA 5's first trailer depicted the police. There's a quick shot of a black police officer throwing a white guy out of a building, and then a separate scene of a black protagonist, Franklin, running away from a trio of cops. The police don't have much presence in the second GTA 5 trailer, outside of some background siren noises during a car chase. They're villains, yes, but that villainy isn't the focus of those trailers, and certainly not in a hear some prescient commentary on systemic racism type of way. No, they're just police officers, and bear you in mind there, a black cop throwing a white guy out of the window is not an indication of any sort of thing being wrong anywhere. But GTA's second trailer devotes more precious seconds to a very different type of scene. As Jason drives slowly down a city street, we see a huge arrest going down in the background, with multiple black suspects being detained and several police cars pulled over at the side. We see a white police officer shoving one of these men. Oh no! Another officer has a black man pushed up against a brick wall. In a later scene, we see a police officer counter-announcing to a bullpen, "Us cops, we've gotta protect each other. The implication is clear. The cops are just like another gang on the streets, protecting their own." But more specifically, they're a gang that is implied to have a racist bent. Put that together with Lucilia's imprisonment, and it fits. Remember when I said that we will be reaching somewhat today? That was an understatement, if anything. Yes. Showing a brief segment in a Grand Theft Auto trailer of somebody being arrested is an indicator that the game is going to delve into topics of systemic racism. Meanwhile, in previous games, having an officer toss a white guy out of a window, which would actually be probably rather illegitimate usage of force, not a problem. That's not an issue. That's not an indicator of anything, you see. And the best one of all, Phil's ammunition. So this is obviously in the trailer supposed to be a bit of a callback to the old gun store characters. Somebody bombastic, over the top, crazy, American, like, yeah, guns. What is Polygon, sir? Interpretation, you think? The latest GTA 6 trailer also includes a quick commercial for Phil's Ammunition, a gun shop owner who boasts, "We've got more guns than the law allows." He picks up a rifle while two women in American flag bikinis pose behind him, also holding rifles. The commercial then cuts to this guy standing on the roof of his store, blindly firing bullets into the air and shouting, "Woohoo!" It's pretty clear from the editing here that we're supposed to hate this dude and everything he represents. And what he represents is American patriotism. Mr. Fantastic cannot stretch half as good as Polygon can. It's not even a competition. It's not even close. This guy is wiping his own ass from the other side of the globe. It is remarkable. But yes, no. Rockstar is, of course, out to tell you that they hate America and everything America stands for. That is the lesson you're supposed to take away from the hyper-patriotic gun store owner. Natürlich. Now, we don't know what GTA 6 is actually going to be like when we have access to a full game, and we've got a long while to wait for it, still a year to be exact, but it's already clear from the short scenes we have here that Rockstar's marketing department has some specific conclusion it wants to hammer home in these trailers. I don't know about that. And they are as follows. The police can't be trusted. America First gun nuts are weird losers. And last but not least, Lucilla is our hero, and she's the one you're going to be able to relate to the most in the story. Whilst also being a Latina woman whose bad luck put her in prison, which is something you should feel sympathetic rather than judgmental about, and whose life of crime might just be the only way she can survive. Holy. It's, again, this is the Chad Polygon move here. PC Gamer is like, "Oh god darn it, there's not enough politics in GTA 6. Oh, we're gonna have a real hard time claiming that this is on our side." And meanwhile, the gamer is like, no, hold on. We can squeeze out a bit of politics here, okay? We declared everything was political in 2014, and time is still real, so this is political too. Meanwhile, Polygon is like, "Listen, chuds, that Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, it tells us that America First people are weirdo losers, that the police are evil, and that only Lucia is our hero, that she has been unjustly imprisoned, and that we should feel sympathetic for her wanton, violent, homicidal murder sprees that she will inevitably go on shortly thereafter." We've We've passed extending maximum charitability to your side, and none whatsoever to the opposition, about 50 miles back there at this point, I think. This is an Olympic level. I adore that. She was just unlucky, okay? She got put in prison because of a bit of bad luck, that's all. And now, the only way she can survive is by being a career criminal. You must understand. The police are the real problem here. Oh, I love the current year. Sometimes it's good to be in 2025, okay? Because you get to see stuff like this. Truly, genuinely remarkable. Polygon, if I had a hat, I'd be taking it off to you right now. And let me just circle around a little bit here. So, at the moment, there is no real indicator whatsoever that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be political in any direction. Of course, that still means that the left will attempt to make it political, because that is how the left seizes ground. It claims anything. No matter how hostile the ground may be, it will always try to claim it, which is largely why we've gotten our ass kicked in the political sphere when it comes to cultural influence over media and executives. They keep hearing from all of the mainstream media outlets that this is totally popular and will absolutely sell, and then when they don't, they go, but how do we explain this? And the very self-same media then explains to them, it was the racists. You just gotta do a bit more stuff our way, and finally the audience will come to you. It took 10 years of near-consistent losses for even the most blind of mainstream entertainment executive to go, this doesn't add up. And is again why I keep arguing for needing to claim things. Now, in the case of Grand Theft Auto 6, if, ideally speaking, it, as PC Gamer does here, will simply ignore politics entirely, well, that's what we've been asking for this whole time. Grand Theft Auto 6 can be set in the real world, quote unquote, as in a version of Florida or whatever hell this place is set. It was Florida, wasn't it? Yeah. Without actually commenting on any kinds of politics. It doesn't have to be left or right. It can simply be a video game. And indeed, if you do want to delve into a political sphere, okay, make something up for the game then. Voila. Now again, the crazies will declare it to have real-world significance regardless of what happens. This is simply an inevitable, immutable fact of reality. But so long as they've got to make reaches like this to get there, we are in no danger of losing any control over this property. And I do want to point out as well, the fact that you've got a male-female character, I don't view as a sign of woke whatsoever. If they are aiming for making a good Bonnie and Clyde story, hell, maybe even, if we're particularly lucky, making a point about steady relationships, about faithful companionship, you know what? That sounds like a pretty damn good deal to me, though the restructuring of Rocksteady back in 2022, it's getting rid of the frat boy culture and trying to be a more serious company, that does worry me, particularly along with the fact that GTA 6 appears to be a far more sanitized Grand Theft Auto game than pretty much any we've seen before. Well, I'm not going to exclude any possibilities just yet, but for the moment, it seems to simply just be a game that has attempted, so far, to actively avoid engaging in any current year nonsense. And if that turns out to be the case, I will be a happy little lad. Especially as Polygon will no doubt give me many, many more such wonderful articles to have fun with. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.